Here we go, getting ready to open up the festivities of our Memorial Day Parade in downtown Westminster. Leading off the great Carroll Post, 31 American Legion riders led by Larry Solarchak, and handing out some flags along parade route, heading through downtown Westminster. Another crowded, very crowded Memorial Day Parade day on another beautiful Memorial Day for this great celebration of remembrance and eternal gratitude to those magnificent veterans who gave their lives so we can have the very liberties and freedoms that we have to this very day. Hello, everybody. I'm Bruce Main. I'll be calling the parade route action alongside Stemmy, Richard Stem, past commander of the American Legion. Nice working with you again, Stemmy.
Same here, Bruce.
And, oh, yeah, here we go. We are off and riding with the motorcycles going on by from the American Legion. Larry leading the way, police car or a motorcycle on the way. Then Carroll Post 31, American Legion Color Guard, led by Kyle Cole, will be on the way too. And Stemmy, there's a lot of things going out here this morning as we get our parade coverage underway. First of all, the Community Media Center. Richard Turner and the wonderful team here from CMC bringing this parade action to you as you and I, Stemmy, describe it for everyone. Again, providing the live streaming coverage of the parade and the observance ceremony. Rebroadcast on cable channel 19 and of course on HD 1072, posted on social media as well at their website at carrollmediacenter.org. I also want to thank the Carroll Arts Center. We are right here in front of the entrance here at the Carroll Arts Center for making today's broadcast possible. CMC broadcasts live from this very building. Carroll County Arts Council, a cultural treasure, working to strengthen and enrich all of Carroll County by promoting the arts, arts education, and diverse cultural expression while striving to integrate the arts into everyday life of our community. And that's what the Arts Council, how they serve us. The Community Media Center also honoring local veterans by recording their stories of service to our country, Stemmy. Very, very important and should be very, very great for everyone. Videotaping those interviews by local veterans Tuesday, June 10th, and they'll be doing that from 2 until 7. Of interviews are by appointment only, so visit carrollmediacenter.org to learn more and sign up today. Interviews collected will become part of the Carroll County History Project and will be aired on local cable channels during the CMC special all-day broadcast on Veterans Day, then coming up in November. And the number of the veterans participating in today's parade have shared their stories of service with the Carroll County History Project. At this point, CMC airs them regularly on cable channel 19 and HD 1072. Watch these interviews with local veterans anytime. Just visit the website, pull it up at carrollmediacenter.org. The weather gods, Stemmy, are smiling upon us.
Yes, you're right. As we've done this many years now, it seems like every time we do it, it's a good thing going on, and have a nice day. And it's always a pleasure to work with you, Bruce, as we have been doing in the past. And I enjoy this day. I look forward to it, and I think it's going to be another fine day for us.
I couldn't agree more, Stemmy. Oh, yeah, the skies are crystal clear, the sun out nice and bright. It's a nice balmy breeze right now. And what perfect weather for this magnificent day to honor those magnificent men and women who put their lives in harm's way and did give the ultimate sacrifice for us over the wars that the United States have fought in and of and for themselves here to make sure that we have and maintain those freedoms and those liberties to today, up to today and including forever. It's a forever covenant to honor and to remember those magnificent veterans. Originally called Decoration Day, Stemmy, and it was born out of the Civil War, a desire to honor those war dead, as officially proclaimed on the 5th of May of 1868 by General John Logan, National Commander of the Grand Army. of the Republic. And that same year, Mary Bostwick Shellman, a name that goes down in local history here because this is very historical for our neighborhood in our area, daughter of the first mayor of Westminster. Well, what Mary did was gathered elementary school students and had them cut flowers from their gardens, marching to the cemetery and placing the freshly cut flowers on graves of Civil War soldiers at the Westminster Cemetery. Hence, the Sermon at the Mount, which I will be proud to be emceeing again this year with that magnificent ceremony there at the cemetery. The gracious act has carried on, get this, Demi, for over 150 consecutive years.
Oh, my golly.
And this year marking 158th anniversary of this event, which for more than 93 years, the Carroll Post 31 of the American Legion here in Westminster has been the caretaker of that magnificent event. I want to take a moment to thank you for being with me, Adrian Gamboa, and the great committee that's put this all together, not only here with parade coverage, but also with the Sermon at the Mount. And for my good friends at CMC, it is my pride. I am very proud, very privileged, and very honored to be part of this event again this season, and many, many more, because this is a very special day for veterans, their families, the ones who did give that sacrifice, and to their families too.
And Adrian and his committee do a fine job. They put stuff together. Adrian's been working on this for a long time. I've been on this committee for numerous years. You and I know that the Civil War played a big part in Westminster here,
Certainly
as you
did.
already said. And it's my pleasure to be here again, and also to honor the veterans that all lost their lives, and even the veterans today that are serving or not serving. And that's why we have our American flag at half-staff until noon today.
Absolutely.
To honor those veterans, Bruce.
Well, you realize, of course, the big turning point, Gettysburg. A hop, skip, and a jump away when you think about it geographically here from Westminster. And this area, this region, did add to and did contribute to the great history of heading to Gettysburg, on the way to get the path to Gettysburg. And here again, compared to other geographical areas, this was like a quick road trip up to Gettysburg.
Yes.
For that very decisive time during the Civil War. And of course, the Gettysburg Address, the most famous political speech in American history given by Abraham Lincoln at that time, to try to reunite this country, which he ultimately did. And hopefully, with the remembrances going on today, you know, a lot of people are thinking, oh my, yeah, we can have the cookouts, the picnics, the barbecues, hop in the swimming pools, go to the big box stores and take advantage of these sales. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, remember this. This is a day of remembrance, a solemn day of remembrance and eternal gratitude for those veterans, the ones who are still serving today, the ones who have served and were able to reunite with their families. But I can't help but think about those who have never made that return trip back home.
That's correct.
And the ones that I always think about too, the missing in action,
Yes.
POWs.
Yes.
The ones who families still need that closure to find out, to know what had happened, to put the final chapter in that part of their lives, because their brothers, sons, fathers, daughters, mothers also became part of a footnote of wartime history of not being accounted for.
Right.
And should be brought to the forefront in so many ways.
And don't forget, Bruce, all the wool uniforms and the marching from here to Gettysburg. It's not very far in your automobile or vehicle, but when you got to walk that far, holy cow, I don't think you and I would be willing to do that.
No, not at all. And the various times they had to stop, regroup in various areas between here and Gettysburg. Well, that's why again, Carroll County will forever be embedded as part of a significant part of Civil War history.
That is correct.
Well, yeah, we had the motorcycles come by down Pennsylvania Avenue up here at the Forks. We'll be able to get a bird's eye view of what's going on as far as the parade order goes. We will have, of course, the police car or of a police motorcycle. They'll be escorting as they head down Main Street as well to help open the celebration here this morning, the Memorial Day Parade, which was done very well done, as always, by the American Legion Riders, the motorcycle motorcade with Larry Zalarchek leading the way on down. So right now, yeah, they're over at the Masonic area there, Pennsylvania Avenue. They'll come rolling down here, and Stemmie, they'll be going all the way down Main Street over to Bishop, where they'll be coming in to get ready then for that magnificent ceremony there at the Sermon at the Mount. So it should be a great action-packed morning and one that we can be very proud of here.
The other thing I want to say, Bruce, is to thank you out to the Westminster City Police Department. It's doing a fine job here at the controlling the crowd, traffic and all that, and also our city workers that came out and put the barricades out, and they're still walking around and driving around and handling things that should be handled. And you know, I think we need to thank both of those organizations also.
That's exactly right, Stemmie. The Department of Public Works, man, they really made an early morning of it. They were doing putting the trussels out and some barricades out to keep everybody safe and to make sure that everybody's sitting curbside all the way down from Pennsylvania up there at the Forks and all the way down through downtown Westminster and on beyond. We'll be on the safe side and be able to enjoy the parade. And we are promised one magnificent parade again today. All types of organizations, schools being represented, government officials being represented in this parade, and all for that great cause of remembrance and gratitude. And you'll be bringing us up to date as we head through the parade coverage this morning, Stemmie, a little bit of biographical background of some of our guests in this parade route.
Yes, I will. And also, thank you to the folks that came out today to sit here, honor the parade that's going on, and sit here and watch the parade that is being done by the American Legion Post 31. Thank you to all those folks.
It seems like when you talk about the great job that Adrian Gamboa and that wonderful staff and the great team there at Carroll Post 31, seems like when this Memorial Day ends, man, they are right back at the drawing board for the next season.
Yes, I mean, they are.
They don't miss a step.
No, he does
and
not.
That's what makes this so unique, not only here in Westminster and our area of the county, but beyond. Because I've seen some coverages of Memorial Day parades, but this right here in Westminster being the 158th parade. My gosh, that number right there speaks for itself as far as just how significant this parade has been.
That's
not
correct.
Only here in our community, but here in the entire region for that matter. 158th parade, Stemmie.
That is correct.
That is just absolutely fantastic, dating back to the Civil War time.
You think they wore out some boots in them days, walking all that way?
They had to have. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. And maybe took along some Dr. Scholl's, maybe some corn plasters while they were at it, because that was, the march. Oh, wow. You're right. In an automobile and a vehicle, it is a hop, skip, and a jump. But, my God, to make that travel, to make that trip for that very decisive battle in that Civil War, that right there, logistically, a lot of people would think that was impossible.
Bless our hearts.
No, you bet. You bet. And not only that, but sometimes, many, many times, the impossible can be achieved with hard work and gritty determination. And they certainly demonstrated that on their way to Gettysburg.
I think I hear some drums coming, Bruce.
Yeah, it looks like coming down Pennsylvania Avenue. Yeah, we are starting to see. We're going to see the Grand Marshal come by as well. Of course, the parade grand marshal will be telling you about him. Mark Fisher, the commander of Carroll Post number 31. He'll be alongside. He'll be coming down along with the Legion Color Guard with Kyle Code in the lead there. So right now, yeah, they are continuing to assemble. They are continuing to put it in order. And right now, I am seeing the flashing lights.
There you go.
Of a Westminster City Police Department vehicle. And it is apparent they are now going to get the parade underway with that lead off there coming on down toward the Forks, which also is a memorial.
Correct.
When you take a look at that statue right there at the Forks, where Pennsylvania and Maine come together, West Maine, I've always known it as the Forks, but it is a memorial in and of itself.
Bruce, how about if I stand for the first American flag that goes by, we'll salute that, and the rest of them we'll just honor them.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that'll be led by the Carroll Post number 31 Color Guard.
That's right, with Kyle Cole in the lead. And here they come, and yes, indeed, they're the nice, bright, shiny Westminster City Police vehicle making his way down. Lights flashing very, very well. And the great color guard with the great flag presentation with the American Legion Color Guard. And the crowd is all standing, and you and I could stand up too.
In a couple minutes, we'll do that.
Yeah, we'll do that. You bet. As they approach our station right here, our broadcast center right here at the beautiful Carroll Arts Center here in downtown Westminster. And indeed, there is the Westminster City Police making their way down. All right. And let us stand while we're at it.
Salute. There goes Mark Fisher.
All right, there we go. Yeah, Mark Fisher.
Bob Kiefer right there.
Kiefer. Yeah, Bob Kiefer. U.S. Army retired, a veteran of the Korean War.
Long time ago, Bruce.
Yeah, that very well was, 1950 through 1953.
Here comes our own band.
The Westminster Municipal Band, Stemmy, with their 50 members, 1893. That band was formed and has always been here with the green and gold here in Westminster. I wonder if they still have the old Chevy panel trucks still.
Oh, they do have that. Yes, they do.
Okay. But here we go.
And there's our man, Steve Wance.
Oh, yeah. There's, yeah.
Drum major.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And no sooner did I mention that early 1950 Chevy panel truck that I remember so well as a youngster. There it is.
There it is, right there.
Yeah, right there. And here we go. This is Mayor Mona Backer, recently re-elected. Congratulations, Your Honor. And there's Kevin Dayhoff, Westminster Council member. Members of the council, they are all there too, accompanied by Mr. Walter P. Grooms Jr. Mr. Grooms served in the Republic of Vietnam. Walking in this parade for those service members who are also no longer with us. Maryland State Delegate Haven Shoemaker, also aboard. Now, here we have Maryland State Senator Justin Reddy, who will be a guest speaker at our Sermon at the Mount. And Justin Reddy, District 5, Carroll County, Frederick County, representing us well. And a bit of biography about State Senator Justin Reddy, Stemmy.
Senator Justin Reddy represents District 5, Carroll and Frederick counties in the Maryland State Senate. Justin currently serves on the Senate Finance Committee, also serves on the Senate Minority Whip. Justin was elected by District 5 voters in his full term in 2018, but after being appointed to the Senate during the previous term, Senator Reddy served on the Senate Judicial Proceedings Committee for 6 years and has served on the Senate Finance Committee beginning in 2021. Justin was born in Mobile, Alabama, and moved to Carroll County from Mississippi as a child. Senator Reddy is a graduate of the Carroll Community College and Salisbury University with MBA from University of Maryland University College. At a very young age, Justin became interested in history, current events, and public policy. As a teenager in Carroll County, Justin was involved in the community service, youth leadership through his church, and working at Harry's Main Street, Duke's Car Wash, Montgomery Wards, and a local bookstore during high school and college.
Well, you know, now we had Delegate Chris Tomlinson, District 5 representative for Carroll County in the Maryland House of Delegates, drive on by. America and National Anthem singer who will be at the sermon again this year. Abby Estradovec, she was there too. Squadron 31, Sons of the American Legion Carroll Post 31, led by Commander Denny Bowers. The American Legion Auxiliary Carroll Post 31. One Jeep, one car, led by Margie Delaspado, president of the Auxiliary. This year's Miss Poppy for the American Legion Auxiliary Carroll Post 31. Kira Coder also alongside. And also coming down here upon us is the BFW Moleville Farm Post 467. Our friends from the BFW. And they have two convertibles, but look at this deuce and a half. Whoa, there you go. Wow. And one Army ambulance led by past Commander Gil Muse. Our friends there and some family members of the BFW, the Mobile Post 467, right here in Westminster, riding on Mission Barbecue's deuce and a half, also known as Bam Bam. Gee, I wonder why. Vietnam veterans from Carroll County. Gentlemen, thank you. And good presentation there with the Mission Barbecue deuce and a half. Oh, man. Oh, wow. Back in our military days, that sure takes you back. Oh.
Yeah, I used to drive one of them, Bruce.
VFW Auxiliary Moleville Farm Post 467. Yeah, they continue their presentation. Two convertibles led by Kim Cook. And then we have the auxiliary banner close by, coming on Main Street, making the turn from Pennsylvania Avenue, being carried by members of Scout Troop 393 as they make their way down. We're off and running with a beautiful parade day, and as always, a very beautiful parade memorial celebration here in Westminster. Bruce Main here calling the parade action. Richard Stemmy right here with me alongside, and Stemmy will be bringing you up to date on some other biographical information as we head through our parade time, and he'll also be picking up for me a little bit later on through the parade time, and you'll be flying solo, sir, as I make my way up to the cemetery for the Sermon at the Mountain. You'll be there too then, won't you?
I have to go to work this afternoon, Bruce, but I will be able to tell you, you can handle that as you've done in years past. You do a fine job, and we've worked together here many years now, so it's very enjoyable.
It sure has. All right, Kim Cook with the BFW Auxiliary. And they are coming by. A beautiful old Malibu convertible. And a classic Ford Bronco right here. And the banner being carried by members of Scout Troop 393. Okay, yeah, they are coming by. And here we go. They're tossing some goodies to the youngins out there on this disabled American veterans with 2 cars coming down, the DAB, and there they are in a combat Hummer. And we also have members of another great organization, STEMI, who are ready to help veterans and their families. I'm talking about the Carroll County Veterans Independence Project. And they'll be making their way down the parade route.
Okay, troop.
Right there, the Army ambulance. Right there, the Army ambulance coming on by.
I'll take care of it.
Past Commander Gil Muse. All right. Now, we also have the disabled American veterans as they are waving flags. And coming on down as we head through this parade route here this morning. And there it is right in front of us.
Scratch them.
And the 2 vehicles for the disabled American veterans. With 2 cars led by Nicole Forney. And we welcome that to the parade route. And there's the 2nd disabled American veterans, and quite an arm on that youngster as they're tossing some goodies over to the youngins out here this morning. The empty table, that's what I'm talking about. Right there, the empty table.
That's in every American Legion post, that same empty table.
That empty table I was mentioning earlier on about MIAs, POWs, those whose lives are still uncertain to this very day. To bring closure to those families would be very, very great. Carroll County Veterans Independence Project, they'll be along. And that is, I was alluding to that earlier on, STEMI, a great organization here in Westminster, led by Jason Sidock and his team to help the veterans in need. Post-service, during service, and for their families.
That's correct.
And they are to be congratulated too.
I think all these participants that are in the parade put a lot of work into their stuff, and I think they all need to be congratulated for the work they do to help honor our veterans and help make this parade a success.
They always do. They always do it and do it so well and so well organized.
Yes.
And here comes, well, the youngins holding their little spinning wheels there and holding their flags out. That's the Carroll County Independence Project right there as they come on by. I was previewing that a little earlier. Well, here they come now. And yes, and there you go, right on the side, right there on that flag. We have done things that haunt us at night so you can sleep in peace. Sacrificed a lot in our life so you may live free. Because we have sworn an oath to our country and always will live by this oath until the day we die. Because they are there for you.
Hey, Bruce, there's your car.
There it is. I thought maybe I was parked somewhere else. Nope, there it is, that old Ford coming by.
There you go.
And the beautiful Mustang coming by. There you go. All of the Veterans Independence Project. And more of those great looking, oh yeah, here you go.
Bruce, that dog in the back seat there is bigger than the truck.
Yeah, I think so. I thought the dog was driving. But But here we go, and again with the Veterans Independence Project, right there, the great organization.
Yes, it is.
And what a beautiful representation they are putting on here today during this parade. All right, and yeah, there you are. They're right there on Carroll Street here in Westminster. And they are ready and able to help you anytime, every time. And they will always, they have a covenant too, that they will always serve the veterans who have served and who are serving. Historical Society of Carroll County now coming by. One car, two marchers. Well, looks like they have a few of them joining in here. Led by Darcy Tucker. Historical Tours and Research Library, the Historical Society of Carroll County, and here come the League of Women Voters. Oh yeah, there they are, the League of Women Voters of Carroll County. 20, count them, 20 marchers in this parade, led by Cheryl Steinbacher. So there they are. Oh yeah, and they are nice and brightly decked out here for today. The Women's Club. There you go. The Women's Club of Westminster. Riding on by, waving along the way.
Got some nice looking cars in here also.
Yeah, let's see. There's a Corvette there. There's that's a Porsche.
Yeah.
There you go. A BMW. There you go.
There you
now
go.
That's right. That's riding in class. There you go. And waving the Women's Club. Hello, ladies. Thank you so very much for your contribution to this great parade. Iron Shields Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club. 5 to 10 bikes led by Rex Scott. Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club with chapters nationwide. And here they are doing a little rev up.
A little noisy, huh, Bruce?
Hey, that's quite all right. Quite all right. The more the better. I can still hear you. You can still hear me. And
that's correct.
And they can still hear us at home. So that is quite all right. All right, farther up there, yep, we're seeing the, all right, traffic stopping momentarily, parade traffic as the crowd throws out the goodies to the youngins along the parade route. And here comes Luke Kissel. How long's it been since you've seen one of these, Demi? And a 274 Army Mule.
Well, I know he's here every year.
Oh, yeah.
Every year he's here. And I did pass him coming to the parade myself this morning. He was riding down Green Street.
There you go. Oh yeah, now that right there. Boy, I wish I still had one of those to ride around and get some of my yard work done.
You can go back and forth to work.
I have a little bit of yard work to do. Yeah, that would come in handy. All right, now as we come on down toward us and taking a look, yeah, they took a brief stop to pass out some of the goodies to the people who are sitting curbside. And I'm talking Guy Cappuccino and family. The 1964, yeah, the old 64 M151, the Army Jeep and the trailer. They got the youngins in the trailer. Freemasons of Maryland with 40 marchers, 2 to 3 horses along the way, 1 float led by Michael Pennington, Worshipful Master, door-to-door, Virtue Lodge 46 in Westminster. And Stanley, tell us a bit about it.
Now, the Freemasons, Door of Virtue number 46, our local Masonic Lodge led by Mike Pennington. Worship Master celebrating over 200 years of service to the Westminster community. Freemasonry is the oldest fraternal organization in the world. It strives to make our communities better, one man at a time, by making good men, better men, and high morale standards. Grand Lodge of Maryland of accent free and accept Masons led by Grand Master Randall Watson and Grand Line officers along with the representatives of other Masonic Lodge in the area. Knights Templar of Maryland, the black plume hats and knights on horseback. Grand Commander of Knights Templar of Maryland, led by the Grand Commander Scott Lapp and his Grand Line officers. Our local Carroll Post Commandery number 8, led by Mike Rayob, Evident Commander, riding on horseback along with representatives from commanderies across the state. Knight Templars trace their origin back to the ancient Christian defenders of pilgrims and great crusades. Their members seek a life of chivalry, duty, and charity. Their mission supports charities such as the National Knights Templar Eye Foundation, Holy Land Pilgrimages, and educational foundations. One more thing here, Bruce. The floats in the vehicles, the Social Order of the Beauseant, Wives of Knight Templars, the Order of Eastern Star for Masons and their wives, Job Daughters International, one of the Masons youth groups for daughters of Masons, widows, sons, Masons, motorcycle riders associations, Masons who ride and support the Masonic widows and families.
Very well done, very well done. Yeah, and coming on by, World War II reenactors, they even have an Army nurse in the back of that Jeep going by. 6 Jeeps, Porta-Pop cars led by Mike Swisher. Here they come, the reenactors from back in the World War II era, and all riding those vehicles that, well, a lot of people to this very day say America could have never won that war without these little gems called the Jeep.
Yes, sir.
And still quite a debate on how the Jeep got its name. Some people feel that it was GP, general purpose. Everything in the military had initials, so they figured it was GP, general purpose, or Jeep. Others thought it was from the old Popeye cartoons with little Eugene the Jeep. That could be anything he wanted to be, like the Jeep was so versatile, and a great, huge help to the American victory of World War II.
There you go.
Proud to have them here with us today.
That gentleman smoking his cigar in the parade there.
There you go, there you go. There you go, Stemmy. You don't have a stogie on you, do you?
No, I do not. Used to do, but not no more.
All right, here we have the Pipe Creek Civil War round table with 10 marchers and 1 truck. And here they go, coming as they move along the parade route right here in front of us at the beautiful Carroll Arts Center. And we again thank the wonderful team here at Carroll Arts Center for their hospitality in having us present this parade to you, being brought to you masterfully by our good friends, and I thank them so much, Richard Turner and the wonderful team at CMC. Now, the Pipe Creek Civil War Round Table, 10 marchers, 1 truck coming here upon us now, with trailer led by organization secretary and treasurer Stephen Carney. Now, the Babylon Bolt Company, they have 2 representing with 2 vehicles, including a float, Wreaths Across America and the Vietnam Traveling Memorial Wall. That was on the first truck that Babylon Bolt presented to us here this morning. Their primary mission, placing wreaths on veterans' graves in Carroll County, led by Tammy Ray.
That's correct, and they do a wonderful job. She does a lot of community work with us. The American Legion, the 29th Division, we have a great relationship with them.
Pipe Creek Civil War Roundtable, here they are right now. And 10 marchers, 1 truck. Stephen Carney, Secretary and Treasurer, in the lead with that great presentation. Now here we go, the Westminster Owls. There you go, my alma mater.
Oh my God, it's been a couple days ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. The school doesn't even stand anymore, yeah. Westminster High School Marching Band, 1 car, 40 members proud. Coming down here, the Great Owls Marching Band, led by Brian Frazier. And here they come, blowing the notes and sending out the tunes, marching on by. always great to see the marching bands because, yeah, they've got a parade route and they stay in step. And I give them all the credit in the world. They are out here representing very, very fine. Civil Air Patrol Composite Squadron, 25 members in one van, led by First Lieutenant Bambi Midkiff.
Fine-looking group there.
Yeah, you bet, Stemmy. Definitely.
Got a pretty good group too. A lot of young guys in there.
And the Winters Mill High School Army Junior JROTC, led by Cadet Keith Moyer. They'll be on the way down very, very shortly. Carroll County Strike Force. And there they are. Every marching group had a chant.
Yes, they did.
It was like their own signature, you know. And they still do to this very day.
You know what's fascinating, Bruce, is how many folks are in these different little groups, young folks here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the interest is very much there. As we see Winters Mill High School, their JROTC. All right, here they come. I was previewing them earlier as I saw them coming here. They are in front of us right now. And they're being led by Cadet Keith Moyer. And they have their own chant, too. Yep, there they are.
That's a long walk down there to the cemetery.
God love him. God love him. There you go. There you have it. Now, the St. John Catholic School, they are representing today with 30 marchers and one car led by Father Mark Bilek. He and I got to go back quite a few ways here, a few years, but Father Mark very much in the picture, on the scene today, and Stephanie Rattel.
I think Father Mark was in the Jeep at the beginning of the parade, wasn't he?
Yeah, he'll be up there, and yes,
yes.
I mentioned Father Mark because he always leads off with the invocation, and he'll be doing that again today there at the sermon. Oh, yeah. So, a little pause in parade action. Oh, yeah, they're letting everybody, they're taking their while, and why not? A good day for it. A good day for it, Stemmy.
Yes, it is.
I'll tell you, the weather god's smiling upon us one more time for this great parade action.
We thank God for that.
All right, here we go. Scout Troop 9. Here comes Troop 9, sponsored by the Emory United Methodist Church, right down the road from us here. And they have 2 floats, a couple of cars, and 10 marchers.
And they got some guys in canoes fishing.
Yeah, they got canoes, yeah. Oh, yeah, look at that. There you go.
I don't think the fishing's too good out here today.
Land sharks, that's all they're going to catch. That's all they'll catch.
There you go.
Jacob the Hollandsworth in the lead here with that. So there you go with that presentation from Troop 9 at the Emory United Methodist Church. Even a penguin out there.
There you go.
Oh, man. Find him some ice cubes. Okay, here we go, Stemmy. Boy Scout Troop 393B, 393G, sponsored by Grace Lutheran Church right up the hill here.
That's correct.
At the top of the hill. And their marchers, led by Jeremy Will Hyde, the Scoutmaster Troop of 393B. And right behind, Cub Scout Pack 395, 12 members marching, sponsored by the Trinity Lutheran Church, led by Amy and Brent Nelson. And right behind, Cub Scout Pack 420 with 20 marchers, sponsored by St. John's Roman Catholic Church, led by Christine Clayman.
Don't talk so loud.
Celebrating over 67 years of existence since 1958. So there you go. with St. John Catholic Church. So our parade route moving along very, very nicely. A lot of participation here today. And right now.
Okay.
All right, I'm looking at Cub Scout Pack 733 from Winfield, right down the road in wonderful Winfield. Here they come, Cub Scout Pack 733. They have 15 marchers, 1 car and a float. Here they come on by, led by Anna Turpin and Tom Ellison from number 733 down in Winfield. And they make their way on by. There they are. Clapping along, celebrating along with the music too.
Not there yet.
791, Cub Scout Pack 791, 10 marchers. There they are on their float, being beautifully towed by, sponsored by the Hampstead Elementary School, led by Matt Schammel.
Okay, now we have the Westminster Fire Department with their antique engine, followed by their tower and their engine. So that's an old piece of equipment there. They don't use it, sits in their museum. Fine looking piece.
Yeah. Now there you go. Now that's a classic. There are classics and then there are classics, Demi.
Yes, there are.
Well, as our wonderful Westminster Fire Department comes on by, this is where I must make my way.
Tower 3 there.
Bill Bigelow, he's on hand. He's going to be taking me up to the Westminster Cemetery to bring the Sermon at the Mount at the conclusion of this beautiful parade, as always. So I turn it over to the wonderful, capable, gracious hands of Richard Stem. Stemmy, nice working with you again.
Same here, buddy. As always.
Oh, yeah.
Their engine 32 there and the utility 3, followed by the Westminster Fire Department.
And I will see all of you then with our friends from CMC at the Sermon at the Mount at the Westminster Cemetery. I'm Bruce Main. Goodbye for now. Thanks for having me this year at the parade again.
Thank you, Bruce. It's always a pleasure to have you here.
You bet. My pleasure as always.
Safe journey.
You bet.
We have Medic 38 here, and we have Reese Volunteer Fire Department with their officer staff in their cars. Okay, Bruce has left us here, so we're going to move on. We still have a fair amount of parade still left. Reese Fire Department still has their equipment running by us here. Their utilities, their cars, their medics, their engines. Their engine 91's coming up and a tanker behind that. Their tanker 94. $2,000 gallons of water on that. Use that a lot of places where there's no hydrants out here in the country. Behind them is the Free State Corvette Club. The Westminster Fire Department was put in the parade by their chief, Jeff Leppert. They have quite a few pieces there. Reese was put in, and I'm not sure of their chief's name, but we'll thank him for that. Here comes the Corvette Club. I need to read a bio here on the Free State Corvette Club. Free State Corvette Club of Catonsville, Maryland, led by Carroll Post 31 member Wayne and Kathy Dunaway, is a group that combines horsepower with heart. Founded in 1969 by passionate Corvette owners, this club is much more than a gathering of car enthusiasts. The club has become a virtual part of our community through its strong tradition of philosophy and service. From supporting local charities to organizing events that benefit the Spinal Biffle Foundation, veterans causes, Gilchrist Kids Children's Hospice, and others. These members prove that what drives them isn't just the engine, it's the desire to give back. Behind the wheel are men and women who care deeply about making a difference, whether it's fundraising for causes close to home or volunteering time to support those in need. The Free State Corvette Club embodies the spirit of service. So as they cruise by with style, remember the Free State Corvette Club, where community and Corvette culture comes together in the most powerful way. We thank them for their service and things that they do. They have some nice looking vets here. They have 15 vets in here, led by John Wayne Dunaway. And if Craig Steinbach is the club president. Still got some coming up here, some nice looking Corvettes. Some of the folks in these Corvettes got them things really shined up. Put a lot of effort and time in doing things like that. Behind them, we have the Maryland Jeep Club with 25 Jeeps and cars led by Denick McNeely. These guys are in the parade every year. I remember seeing them. The decorated Jeeps. Some of them got some really nice Jeeps in here. In fact, they're all nice, but some of them are really fixed up really pretty. Here comes Mr. Duck. He's on riding in the Jeep here. They're blowing their horns out. They wave to us and wave to the folks on the street, showing their appreciation for everybody that's coming out today. Well, Bruce left me again. He went up to the cemetery, which he always does. He leaves early because he'll lead the ceremonies up there. So Bruce does a fine job. If you've ever heard him, if you don't know, you can listen to Bruce from 5:30 till 9 every morning on WTTR 102.3 FM. Bruce does a fine job. So if you don't mind, turn your radio to that channel in the morning and you can listen to Bruce. Hey, we have a dog in this Jeep right here, sitting in the back. So I think he's got a chain on him so he doesn't jump out. We still got some Jeeps coming. We got a lot of them. We got a dog in that Jeep. So some of these Jeeps are really fantastic looking. Like Bruce was saying, a wonderful day here, very nice day. The temperature's finally getting up a little bit. Not as warm as it's been in other years, but other years we've had some nasty weather too. So we're doing a good job this year with the weather, so hopefully the ceremony at the cemetery will still stay nice and bright so we can get that ceremony in. You can always go up there after the parade's over. They'll be up there, and you'll be able to make it if you leave after the parade. Time the parade finishes up there, you'll still have time to get there. Be a nice ceremony. Still got the Jeeps coming here. We certainly have quite a few of them. We still got the Jeeps coming. We still have Jeeps coming. There's one that looks like he was out mudding this weekend. He a little dirty there. Got a patriotic duck up top. Certainly a lot of Jeeps here. Got their flags being waved. This one has his radio turned up. Got a patriotic song on. I think it's Lee Greenwood singing. Not positive, but that is Lee Greenwood singing. Now being followed by following the Jeep Club is the Calvary Baptist Church. They have 30 marchers, one car, one float, led by Tom Green Jr. Pastor Tim Lehman is the pastor here at the Calvary Baptist Church. Boy, that is some float there. Now we got a girl singing a patriotic song in there. Some nice float there. The Calvary Baptist Church. They got their marchers behind us. Behind them, we have the Calvary Bible Church. Calvary Bible Church has 50 marchers, one car, one float, and they're led by Pastor Gary Mills. It's nice these church groups come out and support the parade and bring all their folks. They're passing out things as they go down the street. So they have a nice float here too, the Calvary Bible Church. So yeah, we got a lot of folks gathering here. So put it over here. Put it over here. Thanks. Copy. Calvary Bible Church. They got their float of the soldier kneeling. In God we trust. They got their American flag and a sculpture of the Statue of Liberty, which is up in New York. So they're passing out literature. Nice organization there. Behind them, we have the Clearfield Bible Church. They have 12 marchers, one float, and they're led by Pastor Ray Newman. We got a John Deere, big old John Deere. My uncle used to have a farm, and the only thing he would buy is John Deere tractors. He said there was no other tractors out there besides a John Deere. Clearfield Bible Church honoring our fallen veterans. 124,000 U.S. soldiers buried in 25 military cemeteries located in 10 foreign countries. Buried here and around the world. Nice float. Excuse me. Behind them, the veterans of Brightview. We have Brightview Senior Living at Westminster Ridge with a minibus. And they're led by Vibrant Living Association, Ann Howard, Janet Serio, and Vonnie. The Westminster Lions Club, Greater Carroll Lions Club. They have 3 marchers in a band are led by Lion Wendy Bears, nonprofit community service organization helping with hunger, vision, diabetics, pediatrics, cancer, and the environment. Thank you to you folks. Behind them we have the Deer Park Lines. They're in a pickup truck. We serve our community, the Greater Carroll Lions Club. Got another pickup here with the Carroll Lions Club from Deer Park Lions. The Lions are led by Ryan Staley. Excuse me. Largest worldwide service organization, leader, dog program, fundraising, and American Diabetes Association. Lions Vision Research Center, local scholarships, and loaves of and fishes program. We have an old antique fire engine here. Excuse me, by Manchester Fire Department. The annual Spring Fire Muster, first Saturday in June, is going to be held at the Pleasant Valley Community Fire Company. Another antique fire engine here has North Vernon on it. So, pretty sure that's driven by Tim Bankert. Another engine here, Cumberland, Maryland on it. Nice, got everybody riding on there. Got another one behind that, an old antique, American France from Westminster Fire Department. Of course, all these pieces aren't in service anymore, but in their day, they did serve our community. Still got the old aluminum helmets on the side of the old Westminster Fire Department. Behind that is Westminster's newer engine, still an antique. It's not running service calls anymore. Used to be engine 31. Behind that's engine I can't read it too good. From Willsboro, Pennsylvania. It looks like 143. Another antique. Some of these guys buy these things and restored. That's owned and operated by the Moorer family. Manchester Fire Company's brush unit and brush 45, or 6, made my mistake. Owned by Marty Miller, Hampstead, Maryland. All these pieces aren't in service anymore naturally, but they are, in their day, served our community. Miss Marilyn, volunteer. Now, I think that was Brooke Nixon. She is Miss Marilyn, volunteer number 20, year 2025. Behind them, we have the Kiwanis Club of Westminster. They have some cars in here with some of their folks riding in the parade in the cars. Just wanted to go back to the Chesapeake Antique Fire Apparatus Association. It's a nonprofit organization dedicated to preservation, education, and appreciation of all antique fire apparatus. And there is WTTR pickup truck, FM 102.3, 93.5, and AM 1470. That's where our man Bruce is every morning from 5:30 to 9. Then we have the Boomai Temple, Baltimore, Maryland, with the clowns. Got his horn, and they're all working. Got the flag. The Boomai Shriners, I think it says Haunted House, is blowing. Good Lord, they got some folks in there. Woo-wee. They're all decorated up with clown suits and everything else. Shriners Hospital for Children. The Boomai Shrimp is led by Homer Horatio, colonel of the units. Their primary mission is to support the Shriners Hospital and care facilities for children. They have their Shriners Hospital vans behind, the Shriners in their little Jeeps. So, Jeeps and other things they got. Nice outfit there. They're all riding around different places. They got a little pickup truck here. Excuse me, a little tractor and trailer. Little tractor. I think he lost his trailer, but he's just out today. That's a nice little thing.
Bruce already gone?
He's gone. Then they have a couple more of their trucks, and here comes one with a trailer on the big rigs.
Let me get Senator Reddy's bio real quick. Thank you. All right.
Look at this. Nice little rig there.
That's the rest of the booming Shriner.
More of the Shriners right here. And we have some.
Scratch them off. And the back page, abate. Abate. They're not here.
And we have some more Shriners coming in their vans here, the Boomai Temple Shriners. Excuse me, folks, for coughing there. I got a little bit of cough in my throat there. Frog, I guess it is. And here comes the Shriners, Boomai Temple Shriners on their motorcycles. Daughters of the Nile, Zeta Temple number 27. Excuse me. There comes some motorcycles. Bikers for the Cause Foundation, the Maryland Chapter 6. Excuse me there, I had to cough. They have 15 motorcycles, one float. They're led by Scott Dickerson. Spike, as he's well known. President of the Maryland Chapter 6. Missions, fundraiser for veterans, active duty military, first responders, and our community. Back to the Boomai Temple, led by Maggie Woodring. She's the Grand Guardian. Their mission is to create confident young women, respect tradition, and shape the future. Our members learn invaluable skills and increase their confidence and prepare them to lead. We teach girls to use their voice. I had to go back to that one. I had to cough and I forgot to read that one, so I apologize. Here we have the Bikers Without Borders. Maryland Chapter 7. They have 10 motorcycles. They're led by Chris Shoemaker, president. Their mission is supporting local charities, first responders, and veterans. Here they come. They got a nice looking float. Remember and honor. That's really nice. There. Little boy walked out into the parade route to say the motorcycles have to stop, make sure his mother got him. So they're going off again. They're riding down the road. Quite a few motorcycles in this parade this year. Of course, every year they have quite a few. So behind them we have the American Warriors. The American Warriors Care Package program has 10 marchers, 2 jeeps, 1 truck with a float, led by Dawn Guykin, I think it is, founder and Marine mom. Their mission is sending care package to our deployed military members. Job well done, ladies. And here they come. We don't know them all, but we owe them all. Please help us in sending care packages to deployed American troops. Donations accepted in the form of cash, check, non-perishable foods, and personal care items. Nice float there. So if you can help them out in any way, do that. I'll take a pause there for a minute. So now we have some Jeeps. It's amazing how many of these folks come out to this parade every year and help support the parade and honor our military folks. Uh-oh, he's getting a little noisy there. Well, we'll let him go today. Behind them, we have the Sons of the American Revolution. It's the Westminster chapter. They have 12 marchers. They're sponsored by the National Maryland Society, Sons of the American Revolution. They're led by Charles Zimmerman, chapter president. There they come. They got good showing here also. That vet's still being noisy down there. Then we have another deuce and a half that has folks in it. An old U.S. Army deuce and a half. I remember them in my days. I served in the United States Army. Went in 1965. And here comes the fire engine, another antique, engine 413. I think this is by one of the past members, or first, I guess, members of Reisterstown Volunteer Fire Company, in memory of Joseph M. Carter Sr. It's owned by Steve Hennigan. So he has restored it a little bit. Never forget 9/11. Privately owned in memory of also Raymond S. Bosley. Joseph Carter Sr. was my cousin, and Joe passed away many years ago, as did Raymond Bosley. Behind them is the Coons Volvo Chevrolet with 2 cars, led by Gaby, I guess it's Gabby, and Dorleano. Boy, that thing is a little noisy too. Behind them we have the City of Westminster Police. That is one of their newer vehicles, I believe. Behind them we have, looks like the Manchester First Aid Crew. They have their little ATV unit. So that takes care of this year's parade of 2025. We want you all to go down to the cemetery for the ceremony that's going to be held down there. We appreciate everybody come out. We appreciate everybody that's done something for the parade. Other than that, we want to say goodbye and have a happy Memorial Day. From here, from Bruce Main and myself, Richard Stem, we want to say goodbye.
Good morning and welcome to the Westminster Cemetery. For our neighbors, our friends tuning in on CMC, here we are with another great and another very solemn but a very remembrance for our Memorial Day time right here in Westminster again. Hi, I'm Bruce Main. Glad to have you all along. Glad to have everybody along here at the cemetery for this very sacred, very reflective, and very memorial event of remembering those and honoring those veterans, those men, those women, husbands, sons, daughters, mothers who gave their lives so that we can enjoy the very freedoms and the liberties we enjoy to this very day in the greatest nation on earth, the greatest nation on this God's earth. And their families, may the friends, and may those veterans always be remembered in our hearts, in our minds, in our thoughts and prayers. And not only for the veterans who did put their lives in harm's way, and for those who did give that ultimate sacrifice, we also salute the veterans who are serving to this very day, the ones who have served in those wars and were able to be reunited with their families. But there is one segment that I feel sometimes becomes a footnote. The empty table, the ones who have never made it back. I'm talking are missing in action. I'm talking POWs. I am talking about those who still are now, those families and those family members who are still without closure to this very day of what has happened to that particular segment of our veterans and our military personnel who have served in that way too. The 158th Memorial Day observance. How about that? Now that is something significant. That is something significant for our community and for our area here, our entire region, our entire area. When you think about it, 158th observance, and also our Memorial Day parade, another glorious Memorial Day parade, which has now ended, and now having people come in here for this great occasion and this great ceremony with a great special speaker that we will be hearing from, Maryland State Senator Justin Reddy from District 5. He is aboard, and he is here with us. From the city of Westminster, I'm also proud to introduce recently re-elected our mayor of Westminster, the Honorable Dr. Mona Becker. is here with us. From the Westminster City Council, Kevin Dayhoff is here with us. And Gilbert is here with us. Representing the Westminster City Police with a wreath laying a little bit as we head into the program, Private First Class Brandon O'Neill. So now let's get started with this great, solemn, reflective, but yet a ceremony that I feel should be celebrating the lives of those, the ones who did exactly what I was saying, giving that ultimate sacrifice, laying down their lives for us to be able to do what we do every single day on this earth. And that is enjoy freedom, enjoy the liberties, enjoy the time together. And yes, we are a true democracy. We can have division. We can have differences of opinion. We do have that God-given grace to be able to do that no matter what side of the aisle you're on. We do in this nation have that very right to do that very debate of how we should live as a democracy. No other nation in the world that I can think of, none whatsoever, if you dare differ from what the top line is, many times you or your family are never heard from again. But not here in the U.S. There are ways to work around it. There are ways to bring it together, in my opinion, and I will always stand by that opinion that we continue to be because of those magnificent veterans, those beautiful veterans that we are here to honor today, fought for that right for us to do exactly that. All right, as we begin the program, it is my pleasure and my privilege for our invocation here this morning to welcome from St. John's Catholic Church. Let's welcome Father Mark Bilek.
As we begin this solemn service, let us bow our heads and pray. Gracious and loving God, you are the author of freedom. You are the author of life. Every liberty, every good gift, every grace comes from you. As we come to this Memorial Day, as we honor, as we remember, as we pay our respects to all those who gave their lives in defense of our country, we remember the words of your Son. There is no greater love than this, than to lay down one's life for one's friends. We pray that all of our servicemen and women who gave the last act of devotion might be welcomed into your heavenly kingdom. We pray that this hallowed ground might speak to us of honor and virtue, that this hallowed ground might ask of us to sow seeds of peace and justice, seeds of dialogue, of love of neighbor, where one day swords will be made into plowshares, where the lion will lay down with the lamb, and all will be at peace on God's holy mountain. We pray that one day there will be no more need for war, where we will be at peace with you and at peace with one another forever. Help us to honor this day, and just as these men and women laid down their lives, may we in our own way lay down our lives for one another in loving service, and loving respect for all, as we are called to draw closer together in unity as brothers and sisters in this great country. We ask all this in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you. All right. Yeah, nice breezy day out here, nice balmy breeze. And, well, I'm now going to use my paperweight. There we go. All right, now, as it always has been my privilege and honor over the years that I've been doing this magnificent ceremony, I also want to thank the wonderful team, the wonderful committee at the American Legion Post 31 right here in Westminster. Adrian Gamboa, the wonderful team there, the wonderful staff. And also our friends at the Veterans of Foreign Wars, Mobile Post 467, here in Westminster for their service to our veterans too. And I'm not going to forget about the great Veteran Service Organization that is here to help veterans, their families, no matter what the need. I'm talking about Jason Sydock and the Carroll County Veterans Independence Project. Three great organizations to help our veterans right here in our great city of Westminster. Thank you for all you do. All right, right now, singing about America. It is my pleasure and privilege again to welcome back to this great ceremony today, Abby Estradovec. Nice to see you again. And accompanied by our Westminster Municipal Band. Abby.
Very low. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring. I didn't know which one was on and which one wasn't.
That's okay, I usually guess myself.
Which one was on?
All right, very well done, Abby, and she will be back a little bit later on with her always wonderful rendition of our national anthem. All right, let me do a little bit of maintenance here. There we go. See what these 10 magic digits can do when you let it. There you go. There you go. All right. Whoop. All right. All right. Come on, guys. Play with me here. Okay. Hey, I'm left-handed. I can, do this. All right. I was mentioning earlier during our parade coverage about the distance from Gettysburg, from Westminster up to Gettysburg. And during that Civil War, when our first Memorial Day, then known as Decoration Day, began after that Civil War, May 5th, 1868, General John Logan. And then Mary Bostwick Shellman, daughter of the first mayor of Westminster, gathered elementary school students. They cut some flowers to place on Civil War veteran graves. That marked the beginning of what was known then as Decoration Day, which is now our Memorial Day, 158 years strong, and for more than 93 years, the Carroll Post 31 of the American Legion here in Westminster has been the caretaker and providing that tradition. Gettysburg, hop, skip, and a jump by vehicle, but a rather long march for that very decisive battle of the Civil War. Not only that, what I consider, in my humble opinion, the greatest presidential speech, one that a president had the foresight to try and did reunite a country that was so deeply divided at that time. I'm talking about Abraham Lincoln and the Gettysburg Address. It is my pleasure to introduce Westminster City Council member Kevin Dayhoff with the Lincoln Gettysburg Address. Kevin.
Thank you. fourscore and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they fought here, have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they here gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Thank you.
How true, and how true that is to this very day. All right, now, if you'll notice behind me, under this beautiful spreading tree, you'll see wreaths. Very appropriate, very honorable. At this time, the placing of the Westminster City wreath, let's welcome the Mayor of Westminster, the Honorable Dr. Mona Becker, and Private First Class Brandon O'Neill.
Good morning. Today we gather on sacred ground, not only to honor our fallen heroes, but to remember the legacy we carry forward. In this hallowed cemetery lie the men and women who gave their lives for freedom. Centuries of heroes lie in the area around where we now stand. Generations of Americans who wore the uniform, who fought with honor, and who now rest in the peace they so nobly earned. As we gather here today, we remember that Westminster holds a unique place in our nation's history. It was here that Mary Bostwick Shellman gave birth to a tradition that echoes across America on this day, the Decoration Day Parade, now known as Memorial Day. Ms. Shellman understood the power of remembrance, and her service to those enlisted ensured that this town, and indeed the country, would never forget those who gave all. Today, as we wave flags and flowers are laid, we are not merely honoring the past, we are standing as stewards of memory. We remember not just names etched in stone, but lives lived with purpose, courage, and devotion to something greater than themselves. Let us carry their stories in our hearts. Let us teach our children the meaning of their sacrifice, and let us live in a way that is worthy of what they gave. Thank you.
All right, now looks like more and more are coming up to join us. Please come in. You're perfectly welcome to join in. Here we are, this beautiful, beautiful Memorial Day morning. And again, remember, as you're out there enjoying your barbecues, your cookouts, the big box stores with all those great sales going on, please remember what this is all about. And that's what this is all about. A solemn, a gracious, a celebration of life of sorts, of kinds, and very kind of those who are not with us, who have died in the very wars that America has fought, and those we are still waiting for a closure, and those who are still serving to this very day and who have served. Make every day a Memorial Day. How about it? Including, and not just one day out of a year. How about every day? Give a thought, a prayer, and a hope for not only our challenges, but for those of those veterans, their families. All right, right now, it is my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker today. He represents District 5, Carroll and Frederick County areas in the Maryland State Senate. He is Senator Justin Reddy. Justin currently serves on the Senate Finance Committee, also as the Senate Minority Whip. Justin was elected by District 5 voters to his first full term in 2018 after being appointed to the Senate during the previous term. Senator Reddy served on the Senate Judicial Proceedings Committee for 6 years, served on the Senate Finance Committee beginning in 2021, and Justin, born in Mobile, Alabama, moved to Carroll County from Mississippi as a young child. Senator Reddy is a graduate of Carroll Community College and Salisbury University with an MBA from the University of Maryland University College. Quite an achievement. At a very young age, Justin became very interested in history, current events, and public policy. As a teenager in Carroll County, Justin was involved in community service and youth leadership through his church and working at Harry's on Main Street. Remember Harry's? Oh, these great hot dogs. Duke's Car Wash, Montgomery Ward's, and a local bookstore during high school and college. There you go. In the state Senate, Justin has focused intently on making Maryland more friendly for families, retirees, veterans, job creators, and farmers by bringing down the cost of living, supporting, promoting strong families, and respecting our constitutional rights that must be top priorities for our state. In his personal and professional life, Senator Justin Reddy works as a regional strategist for a national marketing and advertising company. He, his wife Ruth, an elementary school teacher, reside in northern Carroll County. They have 2 children, a daughter Brooklyn, and a son Caleb. It is my pleasure to introduce, for his wonderful message on this very special day, Senator Justin Reddy.
Good morning. Good morning. It is the highest honor and privilege to be asked to address this solemn and historic Memorial Day commemoration. Ever since its official designation in 1868 by General John Logan of the Grand Army of the Republic, Memorial Day, or as it was originally known, Decoration Day, has served as a day of solemnity and reflection. Our Boy Scouts, our veteran organizations, and other groups continued the tradition each year of decorating graves of the fallen with American flags. In recent years, as our host has said, many national holidays like this one have become commercialized or just taken as another extra day off on the calendar. But for millions of Americans, Memorial Day has remained as it should always remain. A day to remember, to be thankful for those who gave the ultimate sacrifice, and to pray for the families and friends that have recently lost loved ones in the service to our nation. Since our country's beginning, well over 1 million brave men and women have given their lives to defend America and bring freedom to oppressed people all over the world. Here in Westminster this morning, we gather at this cemetery honoring these fallen heroes, like those being honored all over the country in events happening today, and there were many over the weekend in many parts of our country. The veterans and active duty members buried here, those that were killed in action, probably did not think of themselves as heroes. They were simply doing their duty and serving the country that they loved. They fought for their homes and their families. And they fought for us and our future, and they fought for America. People like Staff Sergeant Charles Isaac Cartwright, son of Michael and Carol Ann Cartwright of Union Bridge. In 2009, at the age of 26, he lost his life in Afghanistan. After graduating from Walkersville High School in 2001, Charles Cartwright joined the United States Marine Corps. He'd been recently married. He'd been wounded when he lost his life. He had been wounded in combat before. He'd actually received 2 Purple Hearts and was serving his 5th tour in a war zone. Staff Sergeant Cartwright lost his life during combat operations supporting Operation Enduring Freedom. People like Marine Staff Sergeant James Malachowski, originally from Silver Run, Maryland. 2nd Battalion, 8th Marine Regiment, 2nd Marine Division, 2nd Marine Expeditionary Force from Camp Lejeune was his outfit. James died March 20th, 2011 in the Helmand province of Afghanistan while conducting combat operations in our fight to secure and protect democracy there. He served in both the Iraqi and Afghanistan theaters. Volunteered to go back. James's mother was quoted as saying at the time of his death, "If it was heavy, Jimmy would lift it." Sergeant Malachowski was survived by his wife and 2 sons. People like Airman First Class Matthew Seidler of Westminster, Maryland, who was part of the 21st Civil Engineer Squadron. He was killed on January 5th, 2012, at Camp Bastion, Afghanistan, of injuries suffered when his vehicle struck an improvised explosive device. Airman First Class Matthew Seidler was an amazing young man, said his squadron commander, Lieutenant Colonel Mark Donathorn. He would push airmen during their training to their physical limits, but he always pushed himself to be the best that he could be. And he would push them to their physical limits when they tried to surmount what was known as the incline, an old railway line that goes about a mile up Pikes Peak in Colorado during training. He was one of the most fit airmen, and so he would always be challenging his counterparts as they almost literally ran up the incline, encouraging them in a positive, but also in a brotherly, chastising way to make sure that they got to the top and didn't quit along the way, Donathorn said. These three men represent all the men and women that we are here to honor today. They paid the ultimate price for our freedom. Their families and friends left behind also contribute to and are involved deeply in that sacrifice. And it's this kind of commitment and willingness to lay down their lives that still exists in our fighting men and women today. I'm reminded of a quote by Winston Churchill, who was not an American, but a great war hero and leader himself. It always makes me pause and reflect. Winston Churchill said, "We sleep soundly in our beds because rough men stand ready in the night to visit violence on those who would do us harm." In 1917, Martin Treptow left his job in a small-town barbershop to go to France with the famed Rainbow Division of the U.S. Army. And on the Western Front there, he was killed trying to carry a message between battalions under heavy artillery fire. When his body was retrieved, medics found a diary, and on the flyleaf under the heading, "My Pledge," Martin Treptow had written these words: "America must win this war. Therefore I will work, I will save, I will sacrifice, I will endure. I will fight cheerfully and do my utmost, as if the issue of the whole struggle depends on me alone." Now, Martin was not a Carroll County resident, but that kind of commitment, again, is what we are here to honor today, and we should honor it every day. And you know, our society's focus today often becomes centered around the newest and the latest thing. We don't, unfortunately, slow down very often to think about what's old or traditional, and sometimes those things are de-emphasized or even mocked in our popular culture. You know, the reality of this kind of sacrifice became clear to me as a young man. My grandfather served in the Pacific Theater in World War II. He served as a navigator on B-29s flying missions over Japan. But you know, he never spoke about it to any of us. He didn't talk about it. We knew he had been there, but he didn't talk about it. And we finally, my brother and I, because of some school projects and other things, eventually in later years of his life, were able to draw him out to talk about some very amazing things that he took part in, and harrowing escapes and missions. But he didn't view himself as a hero. He said the men that didn't come back were the heroes. He was just doing his job. Memorial Day is a clarion call to all of us, whether we are old, young, or somewhere in between, to stop and look at the sacrifice that made our nation great and the values that can keep us on the path if we choose to follow them. Staff Sergeant Cartwright, Sergeant Malachowski, and Airman Seidler, and the many Carroll Countians who have fought for our country throughout the years, are the keepers of our republic. Benjamin Franklin was asked in France when he was trying to bring the French in to help the United States. He was asked, "What kind of country do you have, Mr. Franklin?" And he said, "It's a republic, if you can keep it." And that's who these men were, and that's who the people that we're honoring today are, the keepers of our republic. And it's the job of all of us to remind future generations of the sacrifices that these keepers of our republic made. And no matter what conflicts are happening in the world that our nation's involved in, and we all pray and hope we can get out or stay out of as many conflicts as possible and end conflicts, but whatever we're involved in, the need for Memorial Day grows and grows. It's not just another day off. And it shouldn't just be a moment of silence in between all the other things we have going on. It's a sacred occasion for all of us who've reaped the benefits of the shared sacrifice of millions of veterans, and over 1 million, as I said, who have given their life. We want to be thankful, grateful, and remember. To all those who have paid that sacrifice, I say, and we say thank you. We are blessed to know your stories, and have some time to honor you today. May God bless all who still mourn the loss of their heroic soldier, sailor, Marine, or airman, and may God continue to keep and bless America. Thank you very much.
Very well done, Senator Reddy. All right, now, the benediction. He did such a fine job of the Gettysburg Address. And he is right here with our benediction of this ceremony. Let's welcome back to the podium, Kevin Dayhoff.
Let us bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the freedoms we enjoy in this country. Help us to be good stewards of our hard-fought freedoms. May our leaders govern with wisdom, justice, and humility. Thank you for the veterans who have served our country. Heal their wounds, seen and unseen, that many carry. Honor their sacrifices, and may they feel valued and loved today and every day. Be with us, God, as we pause to remember the brave men and women who laid down their lives for our freedom. Comfort the hearts of those who still mourn. We lift up the families who carry the weight of this Memorial Day. This Memorial Day, we pray for unity in our nation. Let our remembrance lead not to division, but to love. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. And now, as she has done for us and with us right here, in the past, an always great rendition and the singing of our national anthem. Gentlemen, would you please remove your hats as we honor America. And Abby Estradovec, I'll even have the pleasure of lowering the microphones for you. Here she is with our national anthem.
Really low. Thank you. Check. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Whoa, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Very well done. As always, very well done by Abby Estradovec. Thank you. Well, right now we seem to have we have a bit of a medical emergency happening. Please stand clear. Including the honor guard over there, please. And please allow them easy exit with whatever the emergency may be. All right. Now, the firing squad, the firing detail, the BFW, Post 467, the Honor Guard, Mobile Farm Post 467, with our salute on this day with the firing detail of the VFW Post 467. But too late now. And there you have it, friends. Our conclusion to this great event with the firing detail, the 21-gun salute, the taps, and the echo. Performed by Greg Wantz and David Miller of our Westminster Municipal Band. To all the speakers today, to all the participants, to our city council members present and our honorable mayor, to Father Mark Bilek, to the great words of inspiration from him, our prayers, as well as from Kevin Dayhuff, to Abby, a wonderful job as always, well done. And also to our color guard, our parade Miss Poppy, who is here today. We thank you, and I thank you all for being part of this ceremony. And let us always remember exactly what Memorial Day is all about. Shall we never forget? Thank you all so very much. And have a great afternoon, a safe afternoon. Make it happen. Make it yours. And never forget. Thank you.